such a pinch me moment because I am so obsessed with the Hustle Sanely just movement. I'm going to call it a movement because that's how it feels. And it is so incredible. So, fun fact, I was looking for a new planner. I needed something more detailed and I looked up like best planners for girls who need everything written down. And I'm not even kidding. That's what I Googled. And somehow I found the Hustle Stanley planner. And now it is my holy grail. I use it all the time. I talk about it all the time. And so Jess has a podcast, The Hustle. Like I'm just obsessed with everything you do. So I'll let you talk because I'll shut up. But how we open our episodes is what we're drinking. And I need to know what the Hustle Stanley Queen drinks at
Yes.
12 o'clock in the afternoon.
12 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay. Well, my firstborn drink. First of all, thank you for all of your kind words. I am like shook that you found me Googling because I'm going to be very honest. As a business owner, I am not on my SEO game. And so I'm like, wow, imagine if I was on my SEO game.
Yes.
So hearing that, I'm just like, okay, the seed is planted. SEO seed is
There you
planted.
go.
So that's amazing. Thank you so much for grabbing a planner and just like jumping into the Hustle Sanely community. I'm so grateful for you. And okay, what am I drinking? First drink is very boring. Water, you gotta have it. You gotta stay hydrated,
Yeah.
whatever. But the drink that I actually just finished it, but I'm gonna still say it, like it's sitting here next to me like watered down, but before it was watered down and gross. I'm kind of, I mean, I guess it's kind of basic, but it's fine. It's a cookie butter latte, an iced cookie
Oh.
butter latte, but I made it at home. Yeah, yeah, with my little Nespresso situation, and she's good. I drink one every single day
Oh
around
my
this.
gosh. Do you have like a syrup for that or how do you make that?
Okay, so it's a creamer. It's called Nut Pods. It's like a, I'm putting this in air quotes, clean creamer, so it doesn't have like a bunch of junk in there. And it's cookie butter flavor, and it is so good. My mouth is watering. I'm like, should I make another one after this?
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so I use
No.
that creamer, and then I recently switched, which may be controversial, I don't know, from oat milk to whole milk in my lattes because I wanted the extra boost of protein, to be
Yeah.
honest. So
Yep.
yeah, it's whole milk and then the cookie butter nut pods creamer, and then like a light espresso from my little Nespresso machine, and
Okay.
it is so good.
Okay, well, I'm obsessed. I'm literally going to hunt this down after
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
because
I have
that
a
sounds
reel. I have
amazing.
a reel on my Instagram. Like
Of
if you
course
look
you
at the
do.
highlight called coffee, it's with the oat milk, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's so good.
See, of course you do because you're
Yeah.
just that amazing. Of
I need
course
to
you have a
make an
reel.
updated one. You're inspiring me to do a lot of things. I'm like,
There
okay,
we
I need to
go.
make an updated coffee reel because I don't think that one has cookie butter either. And I need to get on my SEO game.
See,
Amazing.
there we go. Checklist is coming. Write it down in the planner.
Focus three, focus three.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, so I would love for anyone who hasn't gone down the rabbit hole that I have of Hustle Sanely. Give us the basics of what does it mean? Where does it come from? All of that good stuff.
Okay, so I started Hustle Sanely back in 2018, the very end of 2018, which in my mind, I'm like, oh, that was like 3 years ago. And I'm like, hold on a second. No, it was a lot longer. I was actually in grad school for speech language pathology when I started Hustle Sanely, which completely different path. I was semi newlywed. We'd been married for like 4 years when I started it. We had just moved into our first home, so I was a new homeowner, and I was working 3 jobs at the time. So I had a lot on my plate, and I call myself now in hindsight, I like it sounds funny, but like I truly mean it. I'm a recovering workaholic. I'm an Enneagram 3. I have always been like air quote like go getter. Like all of my friends have teased me like, "Oh, you're such a girl boss," like that whole thing. And I used to take a lot of pride in it. And I found my identity in my accomplishments, in my achievements, and I realized that I was really dropping the ball when it came to my mental health and the important relationships in my life. I was achieving all of these really great goals, all of these like things, achievements that had I was like, yeah, this is what I was made to do, like go go go, strive strive strive. But then by the time I would like check the box like, oh, did another goal, got another one, I felt so crappy. I was like, wow, I feel like a shell of a human because I am so exhausted. I don't even want to celebrate this with the people that I love because I haven't talked to them in like 2 months, other than my husband because I live with him. But like my friends, like you know what I mean? Like I wasn't showing up well for them. So why should I expect them to want to show up and celebrate with me? And it was a really kind of like aha moment. And I was like, okay, when I got into grad school, I was like, I can't do life the same way I've been doing it because it's just I was so burnt out and I was like something's got to give. So I, like you, was on the hunt for a new planner, couldn't find one, so I made my own. We started out as a digital planner company, so I made a digital planner and it kind of just took off. People wanted to know, like, okay, now we have the planner. How are you using it? Like, what are you doing? Like, my goal when I created Hustle Sanely, it's how to live a peacefully productive life, how to pursue your goals while prioritizing your mental health and the important relationships in your life. So that's kind of how it came to be. It was something that I so desperately needed because I was so burnt out. I was so exhausted. I just wasn't taking good care of myself and I wasn't showing up well for the people in my life. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. So it was born out of desperation on my end.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I can honestly relate to so much of that. I also am Enneagram 3, super, super like intensive. Like I get something in my head, I'm gonna somehow accomplish it. It's just gonna
Tunnel
have to get
vision.
done.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what draws me and so many others to your just overall page or your planners, whatever it is because you like you explain, hey, this is important. You should want to go get stuff done. But also on top of that, like here's how to make sure you're healthy in that. And here's how to make sure that you're not going to lose your mind or lose who you are through that process.
Totally.
So kind of in that same vein, then, can you share a little bit about the Hustle Sanely 5?
Yes, I would love to. So, I'm a list girly. I need structure. Like, I'm type A at heart, and I love that about myself. I think, like, when I was kind of recovering from, like, my girl boss era, whatever you want to call that, hustle culture era, I thought, like, I was tempted to kind of swing to the complete other side where I was like, oh, like, now I'm just going to go with the flow, and, but I was like, that doesn't feel good for me either. So, I needed structure that was able to like structure that you could be flexible with is what I want you to think about when I'm talking about HS5 or Hustle Sanely 5. So Hustle Sanely 5, it's a list of 5 intentional habits that I do every day to help me live a peacefully productive life. So to get what matters done, like pursue my goals well, but to also take care of my mental health and show up for the people in my life. And it's 5 habits that I do every day that they don't look the same every day. And that's what I mean by flexible. So like I'll go through the 5 habits, but how they look in my life, it just depends on how I'm feeling that day, what's going on in my family life that day, what's going on in my business that day. And I feel like, especially when people first find Hustle Sanely, HS5 is kind of what they gravitate to because it's something that no matter how overwhelmed you feel, no matter like how in the trenches you feel like you are, it gives you something to sink your teeth into. You're like, okay, I can start doing this tomorrow. And it just makes slow, sustainable steps toward living a more peacefully productive life. So the 5 habits, the first one, complete your focus 3. So those are the 3 most important tasks of your day. And obviously they're going to be different every day, depending on what's going on, what your goals are, all that good stuff. So that is habit number 1. Habit number 2 is move for 30 minutes. Habit number 3 is tidy for 15 minutes. And then habits 4 and 5 kind of go together. Number 4 is say or do one kind thing for yourself. And number 5 is say or do one kind thing for someone else.
Yeah, and all of those are so, so good. So this is kind of off the cuff, but I think the one that I struggle with is actually doing something nice for myself. Like
Mm.
that one is the one that somehow just seems to always slip through the cracks in my day. What are a few things that you do every day to show up for yourself? Like what does that look like for you?
Yeah, so I have a very full plate right now, as I'm sure many people listening do. I am a new-ish mom. My daughter's a little bit over a year old, so still kind of navigating like how to be a mom who is also a business owner. So I'm a business owner as well, and obviously I'm a wife, a homeowner, like we have dogs, like all the things, right? We all have so much going on. So it can be really easy to let that one slip through the cracks if you think that it has to be this big, grand gesture every day. That is where I feel like a lot of people, I don't want to say go wrong because there isn't a right and a wrong way to do HS5, but it's where people get tripped up. They think that you have to do like the block out like an hour or 2 hours to do like go get your nails done or, go, I don't know, to your favorite coffee shop and read a book for 45 minutes, whatever self care looks like for you. When in reality, I am more of a self care sprinkle kind of girly. So that's what I call them. Like what I did today for my HS5 kind of thing for myself. I knew that for work, I'm an introvert and I have 4 calls today. So back to back to back calls. Like I'm going to be on all day long. And so I knew that I needed to have something at the beginning of my day that was going to just energize me and make me feel supported by myself. So it sounds silly, but it really just makes me so happy even thinking about it. So I take my little iced coffee, the same one that I just said. I have 2 a day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. So I have my morning one and I get my little iPad and I put it in my shower. We have like a windowsill in our shower. And as I am taking my shower, I am watching a YouTube video and sipping on my iced coffee. And it just makes me feel so loved by myself. And here's the thing, like I'm already going to be taking a shower. So why
Mhm.
not like just sprinkle a little bit of self-care in there? Like elevate it so that it feels special to me. And that is my biggest tip to people when they feel like they are kind of letting that one slip through the cracks. Like I am not doing something kind for myself. You don't have to add something into your day. Think of something that you're already doing. Hopefully, you're already eating dinner every day. So maybe instead of sitting in front of the TV, you go sit out on your back patio if you live somewhere where you can do that. You know what I'm saying? So like think about things that you're doing. Maybe you drive to work every single day. So instead of like just sitting in traffic and being angry at the world, because I know that's what I used to do when I was stuck in traffic and I didn't work from home, like have an audiobook on deck or your favorite podcast downloaded so that you can just make the drive to work like you're just taking care of yourself on the way there. So that's my biggest piece of advice when people are feeling like, oh, I'm really having a hard time with the kind thing for myself. Take something that you're already doing. Like don't worry about adding stuff into your day. Our days are already so full. Think about something that you're already doing and just elevate it a little bit. Like ask yourself, what would make this a little bit more enjoyable for me?
Oh, that is so good. I love that. That is definitely going to help me so
Yeah.
much.
Great. Good, great,
So
good.
appreciate that. So, I mean, you were just touching on this a little bit. As someone who literally does so much, I mean, you have the podcast, you're a business owner, like you said, you're a new mom, you're a wife, all of the things. I could go on and on and on and on. I would love to know a few staples in your morning routine that just help you every single day show up in all of those areas as the best version of yourself. What does that look like?
Yes. So my morning routine is so near and dear to my heart. Like, truly, it helps me, like you said, just show up as the healthiest version of myself, but for everybody else in my life, the people in my online community who I am supporting through my business, for my daughter, for my husband, for my friends, for my family. And my morning routine, it is to me, I mean, I guess when I say it out loud, like it sounds intricate, but like I'm just so used to doing it that it really, like it takes about 30 minutes in total. So to me, that's not like super long and it's an investment in myself. So it's worth it to me. So I guess, non-negotiables, if you will, making a decaf cup of coffee with my collagen. So I'm an anxious girly and I have to be careful about my caffeine intake. And so I would rather enjoy an afternoon coffee than like a coffee right when I wake up in the morning, like with caffeine. But I still want that like cozy morning drink. So I make a decaf with collagen. That's a non-negotiable. I like to start my day with protein anyway, so it just kind of helps do that as well. So I make my coffee and then I grab my journal and I grab a personal development book that I'm reading at the time, whatever book it is, and then my devotion and Bible. My faith is very important to me. So those are the 3 tools that I need for, if you include the decaf coffee. And I start off with journaling. So my journaling practice is everything to me as far as my mental health goes. And I would say that is definitely, like, if everything like had to go away and I could just pick one thing in the morning, that would be it. So I use the Hustle Sanely journal. It's called the Peacefully Productive Journal. And it's a guided journal, which I think that's why I love it, because I just have to show up and like open the pages and I just like fill in the prompts, like what I'm grateful for, how I'm feeling mentally, how I'm feeling physically. Like it's accountability to check in with myself and not just go through the motions every day. And then there's a line in there that asks you, like, what are you going to do to show up as the healthiest version of yourself today? And I love being able to just kind of it helps me to visualize the day. I'm like, okay, what do I have going on today? How am I going to show up as the healthiest version of myself? Like, what's something I'm going to do? And then there's a free write page on like the other side of the spread, and that's where I write my morning prayer. So I'll write that out. And then there is a spot for your monthly affirmation. And affirmations are things that I use. I learned about them in therapy. I used to roll my eyes when I would hear people like say your affirmations. I was like, okay, like whatever you say, like I am enough, like, which is true, but like when you're saying it, you're just like, I don't know. So I spent some time in therapy, like really working on using affirmations in a way that works for me. And so I write a monthly, I call it an anchor affirmation, and it's just something that I read out loud every single morning, that just kind of helps. Think of yourself, I like to think of myself as a plant, and it's like I'm watering the plant every morning, like I'm not getting withered up and, dying because I'm speaking words of life over myself, and it just kind of revives my spirit, especially speaking it out loud. It's really powerful to hear yourself saying something nice to yourself every single morning. So that's like the main part of my morning routine is my journaling practice. And then as long as my daughter is still sleeping, I will read 10 pages of my nonfiction book or personal or professional development, just depends on what the book is. And then I'll do a page of my devotion as well. So that's kind of a little glimpse into my current morning routine.
That is so good. I struggle so much with journaling, and I do think because I expect myself to sit down with like one blank page and
Yeah.
just have all of these amazing revelations about myself every morning. And
Mhm.
like that's what I kind of like, like
Totally.
when I think about what journaling is, I'm like, this is the expectation I have set in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that idea of having that guided journal and just kind of checking in with
Yep.
yourself. That's all it is giving
Yep.
yourself the time to be so self-aware, to be like, okay, where am I at? This is where we're going. Oh, okay, great. Here we go. Now we can
Yep.
start our day.
That's literally how I view journaling is as like a tool to check in with myself, and the blank page, I say that I'm like clearing the mental clutter. Like I like to
Yeah.
go into the day like clearing the mental clutter, and I love that you said like you recognize like, oh, I have this expectation of journaling. It's because I feel like once you realize that, you can kind of like start to like slowly release
Yeah.
that expectation and kind of just use it more as a tool rather than like having it have to be this like place where you have like these grand ideas, and you know what I'm saying, because like journaling definitely is not that for me. Sometimes every once in a while, but most days that's not the vibe for me.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Okay. So something that you do so beautifully, absolutely incredible, is kind of walking through people how to have like meetings with themselves and to plan things out.
Yeah.
Huge thing that has been very inspirational in my own life is hearing you talk about that. So, obviously you can get super in the weeds about this, but kind of topically, what are these meetings? How often are you doing them? And what do they kind of look like for you?
Yeah, so I call them my Hustle Sanely habits. So I teach the Hustle Sanely planning system, and these are a part of that. And so I have quite a few. It sounds daunting, like you said, it can be easy to feel like you're, getting in the weeds with them. But when you see them all together, like, and you start doing them, it just kind of flows. They take a little bit of brain power when you start going, but then once you're used to doing them, they're a vibe and you really do look forward to them. So I have my yearly vision meeting, I have my quarterly check-in meetings, I have my monthly check-in meetings, I have my weekly prep meetings, and then I have my daily planning meetings. So the more granular you get, the less amount of time they take. So like my daily planning meeting takes me like 5 minutes, and I do it the day before. Whereas my yearly vision meeting, like as you work your way up, that one takes more, I would say like 2 hours. Like that's a longer, but I only do it one time a year, and I'm planning out my vision for the entire year. So of course you would expect it to take a little bit longer. But I think the one that my favorite one, gosh, it's a tie up between, I would say, the monthly check-in meeting and the weekly prep meeting. Like those are my two favorite. And so I'm actually going to be having my monthly meeting later after this call. I do my monthly meeting every month with my online community. That way we can kind of all hold each other accountable and like have space for it in our calendar. And it's such a vibe. And I think that's why I love it so much. So every month we get together and I turn on lo-fi music for us, so it's just like very vibey. We all bring a fun drink, whether it's some people, if you want to bring a cocktail, like go off, or a nice coffee or a poppy, like just some kind of fun beverage. Yeah, and you have like your cute little like planning tools. So like your highlighters, your Post-it notes, your whatever planner. Most of us obviously use the Peacefully Productive planner. And we just spend the 30 to 40 minutes just creating a game plan for the month coming up. Like we reflect on the previous month, because to me, you can't really make a plan for the coming month unless you spend time reflecting on how the previous month went, because you want to be building on a strong foundation. Like if your past month was like crumbling, like you don't want to keep going. You want to like put a pause and kind of assess like, okay, what was working, what wasn't working. And in the Peacefully Productive planner and journal, we have questions built in for your check-in meetings so that you don't have to be like, okay, like what do I do now? Like what am I supposed to ask myself? Like what am I supposed to do? So there are like guided questions in there, like, okay, what habits and routines were you stoked about last month? Okay, which ones do you want to carry into next month? And which ones are you like, okay, like that didn't work for me, like don't want to do that. So it just helps kind of set the intention for the coming month, and make sure that you're not just going through the motions. That is the biggest purpose of all of the meetings, is making sure that you're living with intention, that you're being mindful of your season of life, and that you're not just going through the motions, that you're making sure you're pursuing your goals in a way that makes sense for your life right now, and that you're pursuing your goals while prioritizing your mental health and the important relationships in your life. Like all the questions kind of point back to that.
Yeah. Oh, that is so good. And I have loved romanticizing my monthly
Yes.
meetings and even the weekly ones.
Mhm.
Just so fun and you feel just so good doing it. And so yeah, I have mine set up that I'm actually doing it tomorrow.
Yay.
So very excited. I know what coffee shop I'm going to and I'm gonna sit down, bring all my little tools with me. Like you said, it's just such a
Yeah.
vibe. It
Yeah.
is so fun to do. And when you lean into it, then like you said, your weekly meetings are easier to go through and then so are your daily ones. And you just kind of let them snowball and make sure
Totally.
it keeps you on track. And that's
Yep.
so important.
No, totally. And it like I just feel like it helps me to take ownership of my
Yeah.
life. You know, like it makes me, I'm sure you've all heard the quote, like, life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. I just feel like when I take a little bit of time to plan out what is happening, where I'm spending my time and my energy, it makes me feel like I'm being a good steward of my time and my energy, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so as we wrap up, I would love to know, do you have like a tangible tip for someone who feels like they don't plan out any of their days? They have no idea what's going on. Life does feel like it's happening to me.
Mhm.
And so where do we start? What's the easiest way to start? What do you suggest?
I would honestly say start with Hustle Sanely 5. Those 5 habits that we talked about, sit down the night before, write down. You don't even have to like buy a planner or anything. Like I'm not even trying to like push the planner down your throat. I'm saying like write down, like get a little sticky note and write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and write out, okay, tomorrow, what are the 3 most important things that I want to get done? And they can be whatever you want them to do. Like nothing is off limits. People are constantly asking me like, is this something that I can put on my focus 3? And I'm like, girl, you're the boss of your schedule. If it's the most important thing for you to get done tomorrow, then heck yes, put it on your focus 3, please. Okay. So get out your little sticky note, write the 3 most important things that you want to get done tomorrow, how you want to move your body for 30 minutes. And again, this one, I'm not saying you need to go to the gym and like pump iron for 30 minutes, okay? I'm not even telling you you need to sweat. I'm just telling you you need to move your body. Go walk your dog for 15 minutes, like away from your house, and then walk back. If you have a baby, pop the baby in the stroller, go walk away for 15 minutes and walk back. If you're in a season where 30 minutes all at one time just feels big and daunting and overwhelming, do a 15-minute walk in the morning and stretch for 15 minutes before bed. So get creative with how you're doing these habits. So write down how you want to move your body. Write down something that you can do, like a room in your house that you want to focus on for 15 minutes to tidy. Set a timer for 15 minutes. Tidy that part of your house. Maybe it's one drawer. Maybe you just feel like life is just very chaotic right now and you're like, I'm going to focus on my makeup drawer and just getting that tidy, because I know that every morning when I go and I am trying to do my makeup, everything's fallen out and it's not a peaceful vibe. So I'm going to do this for future me and take 15 minutes and declutter my makeup drawer, whatever, organize it. And then write down one kind thing you want to do for yourself and one kind thing you want to do for someone else. So that would be my first. That's anybody who's ever new to Hustle Sanely, they're not a planner. I always tell them, start with Hustle Sanely 5 because it is so fluid. It's so flexible. You can make it work for you. Hustle Sanely 5 meets you where you're at. You don't have to come any sort of way to be able to do HS5. So I would say just get out a sticky note, get out your note on your phone if you don't even want to get a pen and paper, and just write Hustle Sanely 5, write those things down. Like, it takes 5, 7, 10 minutes, depending on how quick your mind is moving when you're doing it. And just sit down the night before and jot those things down. And then do that for a week and see how you feel. That would be my first like
I love
step
it.
for anybody to go for. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. Okay, so you offer a million amazing resources. And so as someone who's listening to this and they're like, shoot, I'm so inspired, I'm so obsessed. Where do we go? What do we do? How do we get involved?
Yes. Okay. So everything that I do on the internet lives at jessicamassey.com, not justmassey.com. In hindsight, I'm like, dang, should have done that, but because that's what I go by online. But it is what it is. It's jessicamassey.com. And everything that I do, you can find there. You can find the podcasts, the planners, the courses where I teach the system that I kind of briefly touched on here, everything. The Instagram stories, I would say, if you're somebody who loves a good concrete example, my personal Instagram, so at Jess M. Massey, in my stories, I try to treat it as like a daily vlog where I'm showing you my Hustle Sanely 5 habits in action. I show my planning meetings in action. So if you're somebody who's like, this sounds good in theory, but like, I need to see somebody doing it, Instagram stories is where that happens.
Yeah, and all of that will be linked in the show notes, so super easy to find. Oh my gosh, Jess, seriously, thank you times a million for coming on here. I feel so honored to have this conversation. You are amazing, and just thank you for giving us all your wisdom.
Absolutely, Belle. Thank you for having me on. I'm so glad that we were able to make this happen. You are such a joy to chat with, and I hope that this conversation blesses your community.